everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to what I cannot imagine becoming a series, but at the same time, it would be kind of cool. Because where do we get to begin? We get to begin with everybody's favorite, with an unboxing. That is the Docs-proof blue painter's tape. This is something. This is a Reader's Rides, Rank My Ride, Roast My Ride. This is where someone, this one came in from the great state of Missouri, was kind enough to send their rig in. I have not opened it. I saw a picture of it on the internet, but it was so long ago that I cannot remember anything about the vehicle. Not what's fitted to it, any of it. So we're all going to find out together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over it. I'm going to take a look at it. We're going to take it out. We're going to drive it. I'm going to tell you what I think about it. Then I'm going to box it back up and I'm going to send it to Missouri. And that is why I doubt that this will become a recurring series, because the cost of transiting this from Missouri to California to Missouri is not an amount of money that I think most people are going to want to spend. The cost of shipping in this day and age is, honestly, as a person who's been shipping stuff regularly through the Postal Service, FedEx, UPS, all of them, I mean, I know we're moving into the future and things are getting more expensive, but the cost to ship things now is still mind-boggling to me. The cost to send something not even all the way across the country, about 2/3, is untenable. And I can say this because I give rigs away all the time, so I find out what it costs to move them. We have got ourselves some rock blocks mounted on some deep turbines, some -10 turbines. We've got ourselves, looks like a hot, well, you know what, let's, this, there's something, stickers or something, there's something I'm going to read. Ooh, there's a note. There's a note, we'll read the note. We've got some Proline high racks, some little babby Class 1 high racks. We've got a lipo guard with, imagine what you'd see in a lipo guard, 3S1300, and the batteries for the controller. This is all in. We're fully complete. This is quite light. This is a shipping technique that I use as well. You take some stock plastic rims and some foams, and it'll prevent the axle stubs from jamming out the sides of the box, which those axle stubs will absolutely jam through the side of a box, no matter what that box is. They're coming right through the side. I can already see. Clever. All right, I'm already on board. Is there a magnet glued down there? Smart. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna pretend that I thought it up. That's just clever. Take that one home with you, guys. Put some magnets under there so when you drop your magnets, your body clips in there, it'll fall off. Proline Hif Clanger. Sure looks like a Hif Clanger. Got the silencer, hobby foam, works great. Underneath, this is a VRD. Nay, this was a stance. This was a stance because I spy with my little eye aluminum rails. Dravs, and they are built right nicely. They're built right nicely. AGFRC 62 kg up front. Servo and axle, that's a lot. Fusion SE 1800. A little spicy on the straight axle, but I'm not mad about it. Somebody wants their wires protected. So is this looks like I thought this was a Hot Racing, but that's a Mias 10-channel big power block of a receiver. You got the little slide through bumpers. It's got a wheel. It is the Mias. It is the Mias. It is festooned with decals. Okay, let's reach right up here. I'm not opposed to this radio at all. What do you know? The Mias and the well, they have a different wheel. We've got the 3-spoke. We got the split 5. Split 5 on there. But otherwise, mechanically, the exact same radio. The exact same radio. I tend to run, yeah. So you have your choice. That's one of the strengths of this radio, is you have your choice. You can either run the pack, or you can pop this little door open. Just slap an 18650 in there. I should have told the gentleman who sent it in that he did not need to send batteries, because I can include batteries. But that little pack is at least 3/4 charged. Let's see what we get out of the 1300. So I'm looking. What I'm doing is I'm looking. If you have a 100%. If you have a stance, if you have a stance, I wish that we'd gotten to you and told you to buy a VRD carbon first, because there's just more value in the carbon. Now I see aluminum standoffs, I see aluminum front motor plate, which means I see aluminum third members on the axles, just on account of because. So there's every chance that the stuff inside the gearbox has already been updated. All right, let me read some of the paperwork. I got paperwork. The Hyrax are Predator, and he says, barely run, keep them, comma, give them away. Well, one thing we will definitely do is run them through the protocol, because the Hyrax are, I don't like to throw outdated around very much, but the Hyrax are one of the, I don't know why they keep cloning them. Like, if you want to clone a tire, hey, tire cloners, clone the crawlers or something. Well, I mean, they already did clone a bunch of swampers. Clone the trencher, you know? Thanks for accepting my VRD straight axle kit to review and evaluate. I've had the kit for a while now, but only recently got all the parts gathered to put it together into a working rig. For background, this is my third 10th scale build. I started out in 2018 with a Red Cat Gen 7, then a TRX 4 Sport, both RTR, though they both have been completely rebuilt and modified extensively. Then I moved on to a 10-2 builder's kit, the XJ. After that, I built a G-Speed V2 with TRX4 axles and a TGH 2-low gearbox. I've also built 3 SCX24s, but we won't talk about that. This is my first 10-scale build in quite a while, and I incorporated many of your tips and tricks on parts and setup. The paint is bad, but I think it looks all right. I think it looks absolutely fine. I don't think, does anybody have any complaints about this? I think it looks absolutely fine. Window tint is one of the most difficult things to have apply properly and look okay. And that's from a person who's sprayed window tint. The only way to get that window tint works right, I used to do tint out taillights many moons ago, and you have to wet sand the living hell out of them. Like, I would put down a layer of tint, nightshades, wet sand with like 800 grit, nightshades, 800 grit, nightshades, 800, until you would build it up perfectly. And then you'd work up through the grits and then polish them out, and then they would look fantastic. But the amount of work involved to get those things to look, and this, we're having to spray it from the inside. I have never once in my life, maybe it's too hot, maybe it's too cold, maybe I'm not shaking the cans enough, I can never get that window tint to look the way I want it to look. I've gotten much better results using translucent Tamiya to tint windows other colors like green or red or blue. For instance, these windows are the Tamiya, I want to say anodized green metallic. Like, look at this, came out great. I don't understand how, but there they are. I mean, you can look, you can actually see stuff through the windows. Every time I have used window tint, regardless of the manufacturer, it pretty much comes out like that. Like, we can see through the sticker a little. And it's that I guess it needs to be sanded or sealed, or do we need to go over it with clear? I don't know, the cans never say. I haven't crawled it extensively. It's about 30 minutes away to any decent rocks here, and I just don't get much time while the sun is shining to break away, but from what I've done, I think it's a pretty good performer. I'm sure that springing and damping could be improved. I like a low ride height and tend to get through very soft springs, which is probably not the right solution, but it's cheap and easy. No, I mean, you are definitely better served being undersprung than oversprung. Looking for bands. Blue. It's Stravtech Softs, 0.8 pound all the way around. I have absolutely no problem with that. Any number of rigs here runs Stravtech Softs all the way around. It's fairly light at 5 pounds 10 ounces, which I like, but I'm willing to add weight if it improves performance. The 5 pounds 10, if anything, if I was going to say something, just seeing what I see now, either a larger, now, and this is pure speculation, because we haven't gotten anywhere near a rock yet, but in pure speculation terms, I would say a bit more differential, not just in front, in fore to aft weight, which can be accomplished very inexpensively with brass rings in the front wheels, and or larger knuckle weights in the front, because it's not as much about the fore to aft. That is beneficial in a lot of instances, but it is more about the ratio of sprung to unsprung. Now, a VFD puts the motor weight basically as low as it can be put. That guy's donezo. So that's good. We're already starting out on the right track. But there is something to fore to aft ratio. I think a lot of people chase it too much. Basically, as long as you're 55-45 or better, you're going to be absolutely fine. And these wheels are a little light. It's gonna be a little spicy on an 1800 on straights, because he does indeed mention stock gearing. If it needs weight, being cheap, I would naturally go to brass inner rings in the front wheels. I guess I should have read ahead, but there may be better solutions. I mean, non-rotating is the best solution, but it is always more expensive. AR-44 brass will fit on this, so you can put the big, I think I have an unmounted set. So these axles will fit the monster deluxe brass up front, which would be more than enough weight. There's really no need to add as much weight as people do add. I think people go overboard. I'm not exactly a lightweight always guy, but I think people do answer a question with throw more weight at it when that is not the correct answer to the question. I'm looking forward to hearing your suggestions on any and all aspects of what I've done and what I should have done and what I can do. I completely understand I could have bought a Mias Gold Rush or a number of other chassis and some Mias nylons and been in the same neighborhood as I currently am in terms of performance. But I bought the Vanquish kit months ago as an impulse buy and just tried to put it together as nicely as possible. My cheapness comes out in weird ways. Once the Incision started barfing oil, I didn't bat an eye at the dravs, but searched and searched for the cheapest bumpers I thought would serve my purpose. No idea why. Thanks for taking the time to give it a run and let me know how I can improve it. any advice on what I've done wrong and what I can do to improve its performance. I truly hope it does well enough to make it onto Tumbledore. I would love to see it there and hope it can make up any of the lines. They all look pretty gnarly on the videos. Drive it like it's yours. Don't hold back. It needs some scratches, and if it breaks, I'll fix it. I'm including some stickers I've made, and he did. This is pretty nice. Look at this. This is bonus stuff for me. Look at these. I'm gonna use some, and I'm gonna give the rest away. That's how that works. I have some decals I designed to replicate the old Toyota stripes for the Mojave Bunny and a few others. If you'd like those and need more, just let me know and I can ship more out. And then, even better still, we've got a full parts breakdown. VRD straight kit, cliffhanger body, Vanquish VRD, slipper clutch, Vanquish VFD aluminum motor plate, Dravtex, VRD aluminum standoffs. It's got the steering, all the way down, it's got the steering link from a 10 Pro. Cobra Crawler VRD aluminum front and rear diff covers and third member. I didn't even know that anyone was making aftermarket alloy diff covers. That's kind of cool. And they're apparently $30. An Injora 7 kg micro for the winch and AGFRC, which we saw. 62 kg up front. It's got a Fusion SE 1800. As I mentioned, I would go 1200 on the straight axle. Mios 833 underdrive, which I have to assume is in the rear. AMK brass C-hubs in the front. Injora turbines. They are indeed turbines. AMK comp bumpers. J-Concepts rock blocks. And then a Reefs VRD variable winch mount. What does that look like? Oh, okay, I see. Goes right on there. Okay, yeah. Do I have any beefs with any of the listed componentry? Not really. Save for one, and it is the most obvious one, and it is the one that I have been espousing since the release of that kit, and then Vanquish's subsequent foray into all things RTR, and then the kits, the straight axle and the portal axle kits coming out later. At $289.99, when you look at it from the outside, the straight axle kit seems like, oh, that's a fairly decent deal, but it's a fairly decent deal if the VRD Carbon never existed. Because the VRD Carbon is basically this, but with portal axles, already with the aluminum motor plate and the standoffs and the aluminum bearing carriers and all of the lightened gears inside the gearbox instead of the sintered gears, and carbon fiber rails, and so our friend here spent $290 on the kit, which is fine. $42 on a motor plate, $13 on the standoffs. And instead of spending $289, if he had spent $429, which I do realize is $140 more, there is just significantly more value in the Carbon, which is why I'm not keen on Vanquish's new kits aside from the Carbon, because the amount of stuff that is removed from this. Vanquish sells the chassis rails for, I think they're $80. They're either $80 or $100. Yeah, I hear you. And then $40 for a motor plate. We've already covered the cost difference between. Now you're saying, well, I want straight axles and I don't want portals. I have another one to tell you, which is, I don't believe personally that the VFD gearbox provides enough gear reduction for straight axles, particularly the twin. The twin has never sung a sweet song for me on a straight axle. It needs to be VFD twin paired to portals. I have tried and tried and tried. Eddie is the in-resident Phoenix straight axle, and Argenum is the in-house Phoenix portal axle, and I have never been able to get Eddie to the same level of performance or enjoyability that I've gotten Argenum to. Argenum has probably 10 times the amount of wheel time. And seeing as they have the same chassis, the same shocks, they have a lot of all of the same thing. I'm just guessing here. Yes, this is my guess. As they have a lot of all of the same things, I'm going to go ahead and say that it's the portal axle versus the straight. I can't think of what else it would be. I mean, insanity is always an option. This is a little tricky. This is a little tricky for me. If you're a banana-handed individual, this is a little tricky. It begs a question. Is it better to have the weight of the battery forward, but very high, like one of the highest things on here, forward but very high, or is it better to just put it down here, further back, but significantly lower? And that's an excellent question to which I have no immediate answer. There are, this is 6. Okay. It's a Fusion. Here's the thing. It's a Fusion. It's a Fusion and it's J-Concepts green. Yeah, it's gonna do. It's gonna do. What we're gonna find out, we're gonna take it out. So, okay. He's got rear lower link in the lowest position, which is going to, and he's got the front upper link. Okay, let me begin again. He's got the rear upper link in the lowest position, and he's got the front upper link in the highest position. This is probably not going to optimize our anti-squat profile. I think we'll be able to do a little bit with this. It settles down nicely. It sits, honestly, a little low. I would like to be right about there. So I would raise it probably just by standing the shock up a little straighter to stiffen up the effective rate. I mean, it's Canyon Custom Softs, which I don't know if I mentioned. And he is unabashed. He's unabashed about mentioning that Reef's VRD variable winch mount is $40, which is Reef's tax real hard. Real hard on that. The above is as built at a total of he's keeping it real. He's keeping it real. The above is as built. If you want to take out the wants and only count the needs, it's closer to $700 for an RTR Sans radio receiver battery, and it could be under $700 with a cheaper steering servo, Fusion SE1200, and a creep cab. He's absolutely right. The aluminum motor plate is my fault. I installed the slipper incorrectly at first and damaged the plastic one. And when I realized it would need to be replaced, I figured just spend the money on the aluminum version. Or begin with a carbon. Because what the straight axle kit is a do-it-yourself stance. And while I don't know if it is Vanquish's responsibility to make it clear what is being detuned out of the carbon in order to make the stance, I feel like a lot of people saw the stance and thought, oh, it's an RTR VRD. I don't have to build it. Maybe I don't feel like building something. I'm just going to do that because, it's a deal. It's only, it's $70 more, and I don't have to build it, and it comes with a painted body, and et cetera, et cetera. But it is power nerfed, and they are certainly enjoying a bigger profit margin on the stance and, by extension, the straight axle, the VRD straight axle kit, when the value is all nestled inside the VRD carbon. So there are no numbers to complain about here. 62.38 on the weight distribution, 25.45 on the total weight. nearly exactly perfect crossweight, 50-50 either side, 1262, 1283. We're talking a 21 gram differential on a vehicle that weighs 2545. So under one, well under 1%. 780.9 on the right front, 798.6 on the left front, again under 20 grams. 483.9 and 481.1. So the CG is going to be reasonably low. I didn't want to go ahead and get all of the scales out. It's nearly impossible to do a corner balance on the Sky RC scale system because the pads are too small. I have to bust out my kitchen scales to do it. So, I wonder how is it this? This is a living on the edge winch because it's right there. I'm gonna have to be conscious of that. I don't want to break his winch line and snap his winch hook off. I'm gonna have to be real conscious of that. So, what would I change? I'll tell you after we drive it. I feel like the changes would be small. Link position. Let's see. Rear pumpkin angle. I would probably go. Probably have to redo that link, I think. Actually, yeah. I might have to just dial the ends out to get it. I would like my rear pumpkin angle. I would like that canted about, geez, maybe 10, 15 degrees more clock back on it. Front looks good. Front looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks all right. I don't believe we're getting into camming territory. No. Everything looks pretty good. Yeah, it's a decently conservatively set endpoint. It's going to save the life of those universals a little bit. I would like to see it sit a little higher. I'll see what we'll see what he's got set in on throttle stuff in order to keep it from being too spicy on an 1800. But, nothing to do but take it out and go. So, as said, the numbers, when we talk about battery positioning, when we question ourselves on battery positioning, would it be better on the side versus up front high? I think it's going to be better up front high. I tend to run most of the stuff that way. The only way you could maybe sneak around it would be to have not invested $40 in reefs money on that micro servo placement. Use a guide tube, mount that winch down here on the unused slider with the tube coming up along the frame rail, and then run battery on servo on axle, which would unspring the weight of the battery, and that's never bad. See, what did I? That's not the right radio. Don't set identical radios next to each other. I gotta give it to the little Injora 7KG. That thing's pretty quick. I'm not much of a winch guy. I don't know if I would have invested in the price. It's like $65 into the winch. And if we count the bumpers with the fair lead, we're like $80 just to get winches on it, or a winch on it. I mean, wants over needs always. I don't think anybody needs a winch. They are neat. And we're gonna go rocks, and I'm gonna mush it. We're gonna take it around. We're gonna see. So it looks absolutely fine. I will know in fairly short order if it drives the way I like it, and I will make every effort to differentiate between driving the way I like it and just driving good, you know? Because we all have our own setup style. I don't think there's any such thing as a perfect setup other than a perfect setup situationally for that moment on that course for that driver. Know what I'm saying? So we're going to find out, and then we're going to rebox it, and we're going to send it back to Missouri, and it'll live a great. Well, I'm gonna go at it, is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do this, then we're gonna do that, then I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna do some of this, and then we'll go back. We'll do it a little more. Then it will go back in a box to Missouri. We begin as always at Slick Rock, because Slick Rock is where we begin, on a collection of items that bear no weaknesses beyond the, shrinkflation is the word, I'm going to give you less. From the Vanquish side of it, we'll go straight at the bean. It's J-Concepts green, Green is going to do green things. I'll tell you this, on the drive back, it's spicy, but it's not too spicy. I wasn't like, oh! It did the go. We go over a little residual wet there. Steady state crawling is one of the most difficult things for a tire to do. So I often lean into how much can we do just straight, even throttle input. This is all absolutely fine. The width is there. Get a little. See, we get right in here. The rock block is the best representation we have of the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss, because they actually made them handed. They made a left-hand tire and a right-hand tire so that we don't have half of our lugs facing backwards. I was just responding to a comment somewhat recently about how I've never seen a directionally asymmetric tire. It's never been a net positive. Like on the Baja Boss and the Wrangler MTR, the intended way to mount them is that the little row of aero lugs is supposed to be on the outside. Now on those tires which do not have a right hand and a left hand version, that means that usually on the driver's side, on the left side, the arrows are pointing backwards. This is never translated to anything positive. The rock block is the best interpretation of the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss. It sits too low. It sits a little bit too low. Anytime you see a chassis pivot, you go, oh, sitting a little low. Insert match, Canyon Custom it's not the answer to every question, but it's reasonably correct. There's nothing, as I said, I'm not seeing anything that I'm mad at. This is a collection of things where it's going to go together pretty well. This has gone together pretty well. Is it 95%? Well, I don't know if that's a better question, but I do feel like it's a more intriguing question. Really stable through. A little more gusto. Get it? There you go. Some little hoppiness. Little bit of hoppiness. Does it need more front weight? I don't think it does. I think it's pretty sorted out, honestly. I also, mere moments ago, I had something approximating a notion. I had an idea of how we can fix the ride height. Rock Block doing it. Rock Block doing it. This is would I say 95%? Would I say we're in the 95s? Is solid, man. If there are deficiencies, they're not loud. And, if we're counting how many donuts did we get for our dollars, And as he pointed out in the document, there are definitely want choices on there. I enjoy a build as much that embraces an economy. I enjoy one that just says, this is the thing that I want. I'm going to get that thing. Do those alloy third members improve the performance in any appreciable way? One could easily argue no. There's, as was pointed out in the document, there's an easy $200 here that is all optional. I'm not mad at the 1800. Because it is a fusion, and the way the power comes on, like we can, and it's without cruise control. This is just triggered discipline. No, this is. I'm just lightly nodding my head. Now we check to see if my theorization about the link position bears any weight, holds any water. We'll find out here based on what the front draft text. I mean, how good are draft texts? They're really good. They're really, really good. And if you're in a BOCO state of mind, look no further than DLX draft text. Excellent. Excellent through there. Really good. Yeah, really good. I have no complaints with the vehicle, nor the man who built it. My complaints would continue to stay firmly in the Vanquish camp. Like, what is the dollar savings? What are we estimating the dollar savings are between a stamped aluminum rail and the lasered or water jetted carbon rail? Like how much savings are we talking? How much additional money goes into the bank to keep the lights on at Vanquish on one versus the other? Do they not want to give kits with premium parts on them when I guess I have to be the one to say this, but kits used to be the place for premium parts. If you have a kit that is basically just an unassembled RTR, then it kind of takes a poop upon my opinion that everyone should experience kits, because you learn more about how the vehicle works. You know when something goes weird, you know what went weird. There's a lot there. There's a lot going for kits. And what they keep doing to us, that front is staying perfectly settled. I would not add any weight at all. They're making it to where kits, and I'm talking across the whole segment, are not the value that they used to be, outside of things like the now discontinued TRX4 Sport Kit, which was an old-timey kit, which came with a body and wheels and tires and all of the things, and then you just assembled it yourself. Or the VRD Carbon, or the Wizard. Odd6 Wizard is the guy right now in terms of kits. And I understand, a lot of people, they kind of draw the line at a $500 kit. But where the people who balk at the $429 for a kit or $500 for a kit what they need to take into consideration is, it's not about where, but when. Allow me to elaborate. It's not about where you're going to spend the money. You're going to end up spending the money on tires, and you're going to end up spending the money on electronics. What it's going to come down to is, when do you spend the money? Do you do it up front? Or do you do it over time? Do you spread it out to ease the sting? RTR buyers start off down in a hole because they've just spent $100, $150, $200 more right off the bat, not knowing it, because most manufacturers are removing quality of life features in an exchange, a straight across exchange for RTR convenience. And RTR convenience is a trick and a trap at the same time. Of what is on the market now, I'm trying to think. Original FCX10 Blazer, maybe, is an RTR that doesn't need to be futzed with. The old, now discontinued, you're still finding some of the very last new old stock non-four-wheel steer UTB 18s. RTR, ready to run. Bring it home. Put the batteries in the controller in the vehicle, drive vehicle, done. Anything any other brand is selling, FMS, Yikong, any of them, the included electronics are electrified garbage by an extent. Even like what's in the Coyote, which is one of the better RTR offerings we've seen in some time. I'm glad that this was at least built from a straight axle builder's kit and not a stance. So he's already a little better off there, because he didn't spend $499 on a stance. He spent $289 here. I wish it had been $429 on a carbon. But the loss in value on the straight axle builders versus a stance is not nearly as significant. A stance has, there's a bunch of money that went to Vanquish for RTR convenience and then just gets spent later. Could maybe use a little more bag on the tire. They're real close. They're real close. And I would have to say the rock block, would I say it surpasses the Tusk in terms of scale? I think I would. I would go so far as to say that the rock block is the most scale appearing of the J Concepts tires. So, I mean, obviously, you put megalithics on here, it's going to get a little better. If you put a rupture on it, it's going to get a little better. So, in the spirit of ultimate compromise, the scale compromise here is minor. I mean, it's a rock block, which is the best of the Baja Boss. Those are a little bit too low right there. I think I know how to fix it. Okay. We do it in the typical fashion. Little catch, little catch. We got there. We got there. Little slip out there, little tiny bit, like right there. That's just lug. I mean, we got a lot of lugs. There's a lot of lugs on there. Pretty steady state through the ascent. Kind of threw on a little extra beans there towards the end. Boy, it definitely descends 6238. This is running down a hill wearing a heavy backpack. You gonna keep that front down? Ooh. Real nice. Real nice. The backpack. We're gonna have to subtract some all-rounder points. This thing descends. This thing descends like a bag of hammers thrown out the door of an airplane. I'd call it a 95%er. It is definitely prioritizing forward drive. Like, a lot. Ooh. Ooh, we got past the tipsy there. Go rock block. Go rock block. This is honestly one of the layouts that I've seen the best overall performance come out of a rock block. I mean, that was pretty all right. That was pretty all right. And then you get across here and you watch it just get absolutely terrifying. Watch that rear end just keep hopping, hopping, hopping. Yeah. It's powered descending with this, or it's going to descend for you. Yeah. Oh, we just wish. Move that skid up just a couple millimeters. I don't know if I would go different rate. I think I would just change the effective rate. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to find out. It traveled most of the way across the country. I can't fit it all into one episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a bad storyteller. And I'm going to tune it. And then I'm going to tell you what I did. And then we're going to come out here and we're going to do this again. We're going to hit the exact same spots. Slig Rock, Staircase, Side Hill, Daphne's, Tumble Door. We're going to hit these spots here. And we're going to see if I made it better or worse. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. It traveled all this way. I would be remiss if I didn't get my hands in it. So I'm going to put a little canyon tune on it, which we might. I mean, the goal will be to minimize our reduction in forward drive. But our goal will be to make it a little more all-rounder. And we'll see how I do. We'll see if he's just making noises. So. Ooh. Look forward to that one. That one will be real soon. They might be back to back. There might be a day in between. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. What we're going to do is I'm going to take this opportunity to thank you so much for joining us here in the canyon for a Rank the Reader's Ride. I don't have any rank to get. I would have to say it's at least a 9.5 because it's a 95% of the way done rig. We are in that last 5% of the tuning, and that's where I'm going to try my hand at it. And then we'll do it again. Then back to Missouri. So I look forward to seeing you all once again in the next one, whatever that might be. And I do sincerely hope that in between now and when we meet again, you one and all do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again here from the canyon. Hopefully I mean, I don't ever anticipate it, but hopefully shipping charges will come down so more people can send their stuff in, because you know what? This is good fun. This is good fun. I had hopes, whether it was good or bad, I knew I was going to have a good time. Turned out to be really good, and I had a good time. I hope you did as well.